Hi everyone, my name is Carol Serby. Welcome to the new moon in Gemini, which happens on May 22nd. This moon is also known as the strawberry moon, and I am really excited and happy to welcome you and to invite you to explore some of the major themes you'll experience over the next 2 to 4 weeks. It's my goal to give you some insight on how they may trigger you and how best to integrate the strawberry moon and the Gemini moon moving forward. So the themes of this moon are actually really cool. They're about really simplifying your life, bringing in beauty and music and arts and creation. And just as we start to move out of this whole COVID-19, there's many of us that have had the experience over the last few months of really being able to slow down, to realize what's important, to take that time to maybe make our homes a little more beautiful, to maybe do some of that clearing out, getting rid of some of that clutter. And this month really emphasizes to clear the clutter, to really get down to basics. And with the strawberry moon, so the strawberry moon is a folk name for this moon, and it indicates the start of harvesting the first things that are ready for the season, which is usually strawberries. So those beautiful, big, red, juicy, delicious berries. It's now time for you to start harvesting that feeling, that sensuality, those emotions in your own life, to really begin to just harvest that juice. And sometimes that's hard to do when you have too much clutter and too much crap in your way. This month is also about the third eye, so it's about serious intuition, serious gut feeling, serious, sometimes just that inner knowing, that clairsentient that just says to you, no, I am not going that way, I am going that way. And you might not even have reasons why. You just know deep down in your gut, that first instinct, that first feeling, that that's what's for you. And we're also about expression this month. We're also about know thyself. So again, getting back to the third eye experience, it's about inner knowing, it's about that inner feeling, it's about clearing stuff out so that you can know thyself. And you're really going to be asked to be making decisions based on what is good for you. So this new moon's energy is wonderful for visualizing, for setting intentions, and gathering energy for the coming work at hand. And it is going to be some work sometimes. You know, when you get hit with those intuitive hits and those intuitive knowings, sometimes it's going to be work in order to be able to follow them. And sometimes it might result in disappointing other people. You know, maybe you promised to do something and you realize, you know what, that's not what I need to be doing right now. I need to be going this direction. So it's not always going to be easy, but it is going to be right for you. So this is a time, the new moon specifically isn't necessarily about action, but it's more about the planning and the dreaming and the scheming and the understanding. And again, knowing thyself. And the new moon is the opportunity to really start to clear away the blocks and to become the beacon for receiving. So if you're ready, let's get into it. So for this invocation, I borrowed one from sagegoddess.com, and I thought that between the clear knowing, the knowing thyself, and the speaking thy truth, and the connection to the crown chakra, the connection to all that stuff that's happening right here, right now, I thought it was really important to bring out my talking stick, and I'll let you have a really good look at her. The divine feminine form I just love this talking stick with the smoky quartz and the turquoise inlay. I made this one myself, and it even put some Celtic symbology on it. So I just feel like I need to hold this one while reciting this invocation. So in this darkness, I am reborn, and my intentions spoken in whispers against the night sky take sacred form, seated in deep, deep faith. I believe in my vision and my worth, and I know that what I see in my third eye can be materialized into the world. I set my focus now and put all my energy towards the manifestation of my dreams. I own my magic, the light and the shadow of it. I am a fearless traveler, and I walk boldly on my path, and so it is. So thank you so much for joining in that invocation with me and starting to feel the pulse of the third eye, starting to feel that inner knowing starting to come through. So as always, we always start our moon ceremonies with what's called a stitch. So what this is, it's just a moment for you to go inside and find one or two words that describe how you're feeling right now and what you bring to this sacred time, to this sacred circle. And I'll start while you can think about the one or two words for yourself. And all we do is we light the candle as we say the word. So today, this moment, I am feeling expanded, truly expanded. So I will anchor that in by lighting the candle, which represents the moment of expansion here for me. So while I get set up for the next thing, you go ahead, light your candle, and at any time during this ceremony, if you feel as though I'm moving too quickly, please feel free to stop the video to really sink into the moment that you need to sink into and start it back up when you're ready, okay? We're moving through the phases here. I want to keep your time valuable. I don't want to waste a lot of your time. So again, if you feel the need to stop, just stop. So expanded, yeah. And then if you have your essential oil, your favorite essential oil, mine is the healer's heart. And I use this almost every single day. So what I'd like you to do is, again, to just expand your frequency, expand your vibration. I'd like you to just anoint yourself a little bit of healer's heart, wherever you're feeling called to. You noticed I put on my third eye, on my throat chakra, and on my wrist. So that's where the energy, the left hand it flows in the right hand it flows out. As a matter of fact, even my chakras in the bottom of my feet are asking for it. I'm usually barefooted, so I just put a little bit of the chakras in the bottom of my feet, and I can really start to feel the energy starting to just pulse through me. So the new moon in Gemini, this cycle presents opportunities to really commit to some personal goals and positive energies in the signs of the twins. It's time to improve our communication skills by listening to others and enjoying others' points of view. So those that are exactly opposite to you, again, the mirror, the reflection, the twins, right? The yin and the yang, the light and the dark, the up and the down, the in and the out, the black and the white. So it's really about twins and really facing what's opposite to you right now and bringing, just really showing that light, showering that light right onto what that is. So we're really, rather than dodging, we're looking to really finally sink our teeth into the elusive answers that we've been looking for. And this is a good cycle where we can reevaluate our communication and social skills by questioning just how much we actually take in and information and how we communicate in friendly and non-threatening way. Well, this potent Gemini energy, we have a chance to make important changes in our lives, which I've been talking about already. And this new moon harmonizes with Saturn, which really supports our efforts towards being realistic and practical in our new beginnings, practical in our searches, practical in what we decide to let go of and what we decide to allow in, practical in that mirroring from our twin, practical in understanding, not necessarily getting bogged down in the emotion of what that twin is reflecting, like the poor me thing, but really starting to understand where that's coming from, why that's part of the deal, and then being able to consciously make that choice of whether what's being mirrored, what's being reflected is actually of high value to you, right? And maybe it has been in the past, maybe it's gotten you what it's gotten you, but it's really time for us to start to mature, start to grow into who we are becoming, and grow into what our life lessons have been up until this point in time. So the other thing I want to bring up about this moon, and we'll get into the rest of the ceremony, but I think it's important for you to understand that there's a lot of twos in this moon. So we have the year 20, so there's two twos there. It's in May, and it's on the 22nd, the twos. And so what do you have with the twins? You have the twos again, right? Gemini represents the twins, which is more twos. So it's really a great opportunity to look at your dualities. So I also encourage you to listen, to have faith, and again, just really trust your intuition. You and the divine, you and your source, the twos, the twins, encouraging you to tune into the here and now, to discern and make decisions based on now, not tomorrow and not yesterday. Again, this is a bit about our spiritual maturity, our ability to grow up, and our ability to realize that what happened yesterday was created by that person who was here yesterday, and that thing tomorrow happens because of who we are tomorrow. And all of that is impacted by who we are now. So making decisions, making discernments on what is good for you now. Again, getting back to that inner knowing, that inner sentience. It might result in disappointing some others, might result in disappointing yourself. Maybe you have a vacation planned and it requires you to cancel your vacation. Totally disappointing. But at the end of the day, the discernment, the inner listening, the making decisions in the moment now will serve you much better. And really, discernment equals moving away from fear. So if you don't discern, you're always in that what if. What if? So when you discern, it really creates that bridge, right? That bridge for you to move away from fear and really into higher vibrational living, which is exactly where we all want to head, right? Higher vibrational living. So trust that whatever's meant for you will find you. And in all of this, I wonder if there are some other points of view that there are to consider. Again, being mirrored by that twin. What else is that twin bringing to you that you haven't considered? So while you think about that, if you come up with something, I'd like you to put it in the chat. Okay? Let's just throw off our self-judgments here. There is no self-judgment. There is no judgment here because we're all learning, we're all growing. So what else is there for you to consider? So while you're thinking about that, I am going to pull a card. And today we're using Wisdom of the Oracles from Colette Baron-Reid. So I love her decks. I love her decks more than many others. So while you're thinking about what other points of view are there considering, or is there considering? So what is showing up for us that we're not necessarily growing into or understanding or even wanting to understand. Maybe that means that we have to take responsibility for something rather than what we have been doing in the past, maybe blaming someone else. So just give it a couple of shuffles here. Let's clear out the energy, and let's just look. Got one here that just wants to jump out. So this card is Milk and Honey. The card is Milk and Honey, and it came in the upright position. So let's just have a look at the card. I always encourage you guys to try and look at your cards, and before you actually look at what the written meaning is, what can you see in here? So of course the very first thing is the milk and honey. So when you start to make considerations to create that bridge, to look at the opposition, now you're starting to see opportunities, right? And opportunities lead to the land of milk and honey. So again, I find it really interesting. We're talking about the communication. So here we have lots of blue interspersed by white. White is usually referred to as spirit. And then you get into the almost indigo colors up here, which again is your third eye. It's your communication. It's your connection to self. And then all of the colors of the chakra, all the colors of the rainbow go right through that. So as you start to open your communication, as you start to work with spirit, your colors start to shine brighter. And even look at how it almost looks like these clouds here are supporting the rainbow. So again, we talked about white. Usually the color white usually represents the spirit. Clouds here, of course, are a more etheric thing. So how those are actually really stepping up to support your entire being, the entire being. So let's have a look at what the deck says. Number 51. Just bear with me, and I'll probably have to put the glasses on. So the land of milk and honey. So wouldn't that be perfect for you if you could look at yourself as a whole person and not just the parts that you like, but as a whole person, what could come available as far as milk and honey? So the essential meaning is the taste of prosperity, opportunity born of authenticity, and to become authentically you, the good and the bad. So nurturing abundance, all this we talked about. Trusting that your needs will be met, absolutely. You've entered into the sweet time in your life, enjoying the land of milk and honey, and that everyone wants to experience. It's an interlude that feels more languid than ambitious. Again, so there it is there. Languid, that means easy, that means effortless, that means you know already. You know what the right thing to do is. It's not hard work. What's hard work is maybe dealing with the disappointment if it ends up that you have to change your mind or change your decision on something. But for you, it's easy. It's like relaxing back in an Adirondack chair, letting the sun just beat down on you and warm you up. When all of your senses are awake to the unlimited possibilities in the universe, these times are precious and only come when you're in your authentic zone, wearing the world as a loose garment, not wanting, yet able to be able to nourish in ways both tangible and subtle. Again, not wanting, clearing things out, looking at what you really need versus what you don't need, and just allowing that stuff to just go. So more of what you need, more of what is aligned with you can come through. Abundance is an energy that you are a living part of. All your needs are being met, and you are given the gift of nourishment in every form. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So again, just reaffirms what we're talking about is the duality, is that you are supported in every way, shape, and form. So while you're being supported, let's really dig into what else there is to consider, how we can let go of the stuff that no longer serves us, and that's really just taking up space so that the abundance that that card talks about, there's no place for it to go. It has to bypass you because you've got all this extra stuff hanging around. So just clear out the stuff and allow the abundance to take the place of it, right? So while we're thinking about anything else that we may need to consider, some stuff that maybe we've been shy about, or we've been lying to ourselves about, or we really haven't wanted to face up to, what I'm going to do is, if you have your cards with you, we're going to use our cards. And this is a little bit of an energy technique. So it's a left brain, right brain thing. And what we'll do is, I'm not sure, let me just think about it for a minute, whether we'll set the timer or not. So I'm just going to use half the deck. And basically what I want you to do is, I just want you to start flipping cards. And what happens is, this keeps the masculine side of the brain busy, so that the feminine side, the creative side of the brain, can start to come up with thoughts and ideas. Much the same as, when you're driving and at the end of your drive you get somewhere and you go, how on earth did I get here? Well, it's the same thing. You've kept the masculine side busy doing what it does, let it go do what it does, while the feminine side was off in la la land, off in dreamland, off in creation mode. Well, this does the exact same thing. So it's really easy. All you have to do is just flip the cards. And while you flip the cards, ask yourself the question, what else is there that I'm not considering? What else is there that can come out? Let's set the timer for 3 minutes, and just start flipping the cards, and keep your journal handy, or a piece of paper, or whatever you have. And I'll give you a minute afterwards to talk about, sorry, I can't do. And as soon as we finish this exercise, we'll go straight into another exercise that'll help you really anchor some of the thoughts that have come up for you. So let's begin now. You'll probably start to notice that you're probably starting to drift into an alpha state. With insight and intuition is now the brain. Okay. So, how was that? I was noticing as I was flipping the cards and seeing the images that they really triggered some thoughts, some ideas, some 1 to 2 words, little triggers that I kind of went, oh, isn't that interesting? Oh, isn't that interesting? Oh, isn't that interesting? So having done that and having all of these thoughts and feelings and stuff happening inside you, I'd like to go straight into our journaling, or you can look at it as artwork too. And I want to really capitalize on some of the information you may have just received. So get out your journal, get out either a pen, or if you like to doodle, your pencil crayons, and let's take another 3 minutes. And I want you to just mind map all the little bits that came for you. You do yourself in the middle, and then all these little points, or maybe you're more of a bullet journal kind of person. However it feels best for you, let's start to mind map these, and let's start to capitalize on some of that inspiration. That way we can anchor it in, and let's see how these things show up for us over the next 2 to 4 weeks. So if you're ready, let's begin. I'll put the timer on for 3 minutes, and I'll let you know when the time's done. Have fun. Have fun with this. Have super fun with this. Get colorful, get creative, and see where one word or one bit of inspiration takes you to the next word and the next piece of information, which then takes you to the next word and the next piece of information. So I'll let you know when the minutes is up. Okay. Our 3 minutes is almost up. Continue on writing if you're not quite completed yet, or you can stop the video, or you can set it aside. And if you wanted to add some detail, you can go back to it later. Whatever feels good for you is good for me. So now, as part of our new moon ceremony, I would like to just take you into a short guided meditation. I think it's important for you to actually go and be introduced to your twin. That twin that really is going to mirror to you what your greatness is. So I'd like you to just sit back and relax. Take a nice deep breath in. There's always 3 breaths, right? And one more. We always do 1 for the body, 1 for the mind, and 1 for the spirit. So I'd like you to just close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I'd like you to start to see closing in around you. You know, maybe you're sitting in a bright room and it's starting to close in around you is what we refer to as that dazzling darkness. Just allow that dazzling darkness to emanate through any light that is in your vicinity, any light that is in your periphery. Now this darkness isn't darkness, it's dazzling darkness. So even though it's the inky blue of your third eye, it's that darkness, the deepest areas of space, there's a light in there. There's that light, that glow, that effervescence. So even though it's dark, it's not afraid. It's not scary. It's an illumination of who you are. And what I'd like you to see happening in front of you now is I'd like you to see that luminescence start to create a form, just like you. You start to see the shape coming together. And what else I'd like you to observe is I'm wondering, can you start to hear the shape? Can you start to feel the shape? Maybe it feels oddly familiar. And does the shape have a scent? Can you smell the shape? Can you feel it? Can you sense it? Can you hear it? Can you see it? Can you taste it? Can you smell it? And it's oddly familiar because this form, this beautiful, luminescent, dazzling in the darkness form is you. I'd like you to meet your twin flame. I would like you to meet that which is you without the physicality, without the body. And its purpose here today is to be a mirror for your greatness, to be a mirror for who you truly are. So as you're there in that dazzling darkness, that beautiful, floating, formless place, I'd like you to send out through your heart, meridian through your heart chakra, the love to this dazzling, luminescent being that is Alcina. Let's create that bond. Let's create that trust. Know that this dazzling, luminescent being is there just for you. What I'd like you to do next is I'd like you to start communication with this being, with this inner sense, this inner knowing, this inner essence of you. And I'd like you to have an honest and true conversation. And that honest and true conversation can start with something like, I really love your sense of humor. You are truly funny. Or maybe it's, I admire how brave you are. How brave you are to address whatever's happening at work or whatever's happening in your personal relationships. Or maybe there's some honest talk that needs to happen around how you are allowing yourself to remain imprisoned in something that is not your responsibility. Or maybe I admire you for being so open about your feelings. You have such great energy. And maybe you hear them, or maybe you just know what they're saying to you. Maybe when you're replying, maybe you're talking out loud, or maybe they're just communicating through the heart. That clear sentence, that clear note, that inner, that trusted self. So I'd like you to continue on, just having this honest conversation with you, your essence, your luminescence, without the attachment. It's now time to start to say goodbye to that beautiful, luminescent aspect of who you are. Now it's time to come back. And it's time for you to say thank you to each other for possibly for the first time ever having an open and honest communication. Now, as it's time for you to go, I'd like you to see this beautiful, luminescent twin mirror of yours start to break form. And with one nice, big, deep breath, I'd like to see you welcome that Gemini flame in through your third eye and allow that to just dissipate through the body, to raise your vibration, knowing that you are no longer separate, that you are one and the same. And once you've integrated that beautiful, effervescent self, I'd like you to start slowly coming back. Come back to now, come down into now, and come back into the room. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good job. I applaud you. Very good. Very good. We are ready for this work. We are ready to embrace all that we are, the light and the dark, the shadows of self, and to really start to understand why some of our challenges have been our challenges. And Val had to have a little shift in her chair. Why we really need to start to understand some of these challenges and how some of these negative thoughts about self are really holding ourselves back. There's reasons why we have these thoughts, and to be able to disconnect from those and actually see them for what they are is absolutely valuable in your life. and it really, really allows you to express more of who you are without apology. So, good job, everybody. It's now time to close the circle. So again, bringing back your candle. We always close circle by, again, 1 or 2 words that represent how we're feeling now. And those 1 or 2 words might be different than the 1 or 2 words that we had before. So right now, I am feeling you know what? I am still going to stay with my same word, expanded. I do like the word effervescent. I do like the word bubbly. But just I am really feeling incredibly expanded right now. So I'm going to stay with my opening word, expand. Now it's your turn. And while you're coming up with your word and blowing out your candle, I would just like to thank you so much for joining me here today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Even better yet, help me get the word out. Help me get this book out and give me a share. If you would like to know more about how to work with your innate and latent abilities, or what your body might be trying to communicate with you, I invite you to book a 30-minute clarity call with me. I'll make sure that I put the link in the box below. If you have any other questions, feel free to add your comments. I will follow them and will get you the answers that you're looking for. So thank you so much for joining me here today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.